So, what me and J Mayor 80 created was a 3-night, 64 3-man team tournament. And we entitled it called Ultimate Lethal Lottery. That means we mixed up 192 wrestlers in the 64 3-man teams, and they don't know who would they be teaming up against, nor who would they be facing. So, in the first round, we have 15-minute time limit. Second round, 30-minute time limit. Third round, 45-minute time limit. Quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals are 60 minutes, and the finals also includes 2 out of 3 falls if needed. And there will be overtime periods if necessary in each round. So, with the teams competing are Road Warrior Hawk, Dory Funk, and Umaga, Nick Bockwinkel, Tully Blanchard, and William Regal, Gene Knitsky, Steve Corino, and Kofi Kingston, Ray Stevens, Ricky Steamboat, and Chavo Guerrero, Baron Gagne, Adam Pearce, and D'Lo Brown, Baron Von Raschke, Jack Briscoe, and Rikishi, Mad Dog Vachon, Rugged Ronnie Garvin, and Dolph Ziggler, The Crusher, Giant Baba, and Carlito, Doug Summers, Dan the Beast Severn, and Bobby Lashley, Dick the Bruiser, Magnum TA, and Christian, Rick Martel, Buddy Rogers, and Zack Ryder, Larry Sabisco, Tommy Rich, and Evan Bourne, Michael P.S. Hayes, Kerry Von Erich, and Mr. Anderson, Jerry the King Lawler, Lou Thesz, and Rey Mysterio, Jesse the Body Ventura, Harley Race, and Brock Lesnar, Road Warrior Animal, Dusty Rhodes, and Jeff Hardy, Honky Tonk Man, Petey Williams, and the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, Smash, James Storm, and Dustin Rhodes, Josh Rajul, Matt Bentley, and Scott Hall, Junkyard Dog, Eric Young, and Kevin Sullivan, Tito Santana, Jeff Jarrett, and Eddie Guerrero, Axe, Chris Sabin, and Diamond Dallas Page, Andre the Giant, Samoa Joe, and Sting, Haku, Kazarian, and Dean Malenko, George the Animal Steel, Jay Lethal, and Kevin Nash, Adrian Adonis, Bobby Roode, and Brian Pillman, Crush, Douglas Williams, and Barry Windham, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Alex Shelley, and Lex Luger, Jake the Snake Roberts, the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, and the Macho Man Randy Savage, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, the Monster Abyss, and Hulk Hogan, Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase, Kurt Angle, and Ravishing Rick Rude, Roddy Piper, the Phenomenal AJ Styles, and the Enforcer Arn Anderson, Edge, Austin Aries, and Conan, Brian Kendrick, Rhett Titus, and Tonko, John Morrison, Homicide, and Jushin Thunder Liger, Booker T, Kenny King, and Masato Chono, Ted DiBiase Jr., Davey Richards, and Dr. Death Steve Williams, Sheamus, Mark Briscoe, and Stan Hansen, Wade Barrett, Colt Cabana, and Masato Tanaka, Miz El Jericho, and Terry Gordy, Hardcore Holly, Roderick Strong, and Das Kuras Jr., Jack Swagger, Bryan Danielson, and Chris Benoit, John Cena, Chris Hero, and Mystico, R-Truth, Shelton Benjamin, and Giant Bernard, Randy Orton, Jay Briscoe, and Big Van Vader, Kane, Eddie Edwards, and Mike Awesome, Cody Rhodes, Charlie Haas, and Hernandez, Paul London, CM Punk, and the Great Muta, Mark Merrill, Sabu, and Billy Kidman, the British Bulldog, Chris Candido, and Pedro Morales, Big Show, New Jack, and Antonio Inoki, Chris Jericho, Perry Saturn, and X-Pac, Bret Hart, Bam Bam Bigelow, and the Road Dogg, Shawn Michaels, Jerry Lynn, and MVP, Bradshaw, Taz, and Eugene, Ken Shamrock, John Karanis, and Stan Stasiak, Mr. Perfect, Rhino, and Tajiri, Undertaker, Brian Lee, and the Ultimate Warrior, Big Boss Man, Rob Van Dam, and Billy Gunn, The Rock, Raven, and Sergeant Slaughter, Owen Hart, The Franchise, Shane Douglas, and Batista, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Tommy Dreamer, and Matt Hardy, Cactus Jack, Sandman, and Bruno Sammartino, and Triple H, Terry Funk, and Bob Backlund. That's a lot of big names for 64 teams. So, in night 1, we have Team Hardy defeats Team Rey Mysterio, as in Jeff Hardy's team defeats Team Mysterio at 11:52. Team Chavo defeats Team Kofi Kingston at the 7-minute mark. You have Team Umaga defeats Team Rikishi at the 6-minute mark. Team Ziggler defeats Team Ryder at the 13-minute mark. Team Lesnar defeats Team Lashley at 8:22. Team Anderson defeats Team Bourne at 9:02. Team Regal defeats Team Christian at 11:22. Team D'Lo Brown defeats Team Carlito at 9:59. Also, Team Morrison defeats Team Swagger at 19:15 in overtime. Team Punk defeats Team Booker at 7:21. Team Cody Rhodes defeats Team Edge at 16:14 in overtime. Team Sheamus defeats Team Ted DiBiase Jr. at 27:50 in overtime. Team Kane defeats Team Barrett at 10:29. Team Hardcore Holly defeats Team John Cena at the 5-minute mark. Team R-Truth defeats Team Miz at 14:55. Randy Orton's team defeats Brian Kendrick's team at 7:58. Also, this is just the first round. Keep in mind, we're not done yet in the first round. Team Brian Pillman defeats Team Kevin Sullivan at 13:14. Team Eddie Guerrero defeats Team Malenko at 20 minutes even in overtime. Team Piper defeats Team Hogan at 9:30. Team Smash defeats Team Crush at 7:15. Team Macho Man Savage defeats Team Ric Flair at 5:45. Team Nash defeats Team Hall at 7:55. Team DDP defeats Team Luger at 5:55. Team Andre defeats Team Angle's team at 14:22. Team Bret Hart defeats Team Jericho at 13:02. The Rock's team defeats Cactus team at 13:58. Stone Cold's team defeats Owens' team at 8:30. Shawn Michaels' team defeats RVD's team at 17:14 in overtime. Triple H's team defeats Ken Shamrock's team at 9:48. Bradshaw's team loses to Big Show's team at 6:20. Mr. Perfect's team defeats Mark Merrill's team at the 13-minute mark. The Undertaker's team defeats the British Bulldogs team at 12:25. So that concludes the first round. Team Jeff Hardy defeats Team Steamboat at 17:25. Team Ziggler defeats Team Umaga at 22:50. Team Lesnar defeats Team Anderson at 8:22. Team Regal defeats Team D'Lo at 18:21. Team London defeats Team Morrison at 27:50. Team Cody Rhodes defeats Team Sheamus at 33:14 in overtime. Team Kane defeats Team Hardcore Holly at 13 minutes even. Team Randy Orton defeats R-Truth's team at 24:48. Also, we have Team Jarrett defeats Team Rude at 27:28. Team Styles defeats Team Storm at 17:08. You had Team Nash defeats Team Savage's team at 22:30. Pretty upsetting, I know. Team Andre's team defeats DDP's team at 13:08. The Rock's team defeats Bret Hart's team at 38:18 in overtime. Stone Cold's team defeats Shawn Michaels' team at 19:23 in overtime. Triple H's team defeats The Big Show's team at 18:25. And Undertaker's team defeats Mr. Perfect's team at 12:16. That concludes night 1. We move on to night 2 with the third round, with Jeff Hardy's team defeats Team Dolph Ziggler's at 38:44. Team Brock Lesnar defeats William Regal's team at 22:08. Cody Rhodes' team defeats CM Punk's team at 55:26 in overtime. Randy Orton's team defeats Kane's team at 22:59. Tito Santana's team defeats Arn Anderson's team at 32:14. Samoa Joe's team defeats Jay Lethal's team at 17:58. Stone Cold's team defeats The Rock's team at 64:55 in overtime. Undertaker's team defeats Triple H's team at 33:42. We go to the quarterfinals. This is going down to the wire, baby. Jeff Hardy's team defeats Harley Race team at 44:29. Team RKO defeats Team Hernandez at 72:52 in overtime. Sting's team defeats Jarrett's team at 56:08. Stone Cold's team defeats the Ultimate Warrior's team at 63:44 in overtime. Now we go to night 3 with the final 4 teams standing, with the semifinals, a match to determine third place, and of course the finals. In the semifinals, we had Matt Hardy's team defeat Jeff Hardy's team at 58:54. Samoa Joe's team defeats Big Van Vader's team at 84:41. In a match to determine third place, Big Van Vader's team defeats Dusty Rhodes' team at 49:50. And in the finals, it was 2 out of 3 falls. We had Stone Cold's team defeat Andre the Giant's team at 94 minutes even, with the falls being 2-1. So overall, the winners of the tournament of the Ultimate Lethal Lottery was Stone Cold Steve Austin, Tommy Dreamer, and Matt Hardy's team. Second place was Andre the Giant, Samoa Joe, and Sting. The third place winning team was the team of Randy Orton, Jay Briscoe, and Big Van Vader. And of course, the fourth place team goes to Jeff Hardy, Dusty Rhodes, and Road Warrior Animals. So, hope you enjoy our Ultimate Lethal Lottery tournament video. Hopefully you can subscribe to me, T87 Mobile, and JMarra80. Please comment. We would like your reviews. Hit us up. Peace.